Hello coders, I welcome you all. In this video, we will explore Streamlit, a powerful Python library for building interactive web applications for data analytics and machine learning tasks. We will cover the basics of Streamlit, including its intuitive syntax and built-in widgets for creating user interfaces. So let's dive in and get started with Streamlit. As you can see, currently I am using streamlit.io. As you can see here, a faster way to build and share data apps. As you can see here, Streamlit turns data scripts into shareable web apps in minutes, all in pure Python. No front-end experience required that you can see over here. You can explore this website to get more about Streamlit. So let's get started. So let's jump to Anaconda's Spider. So as you can see here, we are using Anaconda's Spider. So let's first install Streamlit using pip install Streamlit. Let me press enter. As you can see here, in my case, requirement already satisfied because I have already installed Streamlit. It may take some time in your case. So now our Streamlit library is successfully installed. So let's get started. So let me first import Streamlit as st. So now let's display content in the Streamlit application. To do this, let's first set title, which is used to display a title in a Streamlit application. So for that we have to write st.title, and here you can give title for your Streamlit application. Let me write welcome to my Streamlit app. You can use any title as per your requirement. Let's save our code. To run this, we have to write this command streamlit run and our program name streamlit1.py. Let me press enter. As you can see here, now our web app is running on localhost with this port number 8501. Also, you can run this web app on different devices available inside the same network using this URL. This network URL. This URL for localhost and this URL for network devices which are connected in the same network. As you can see here, this way we can display a title in a Streamlit application that you can see over here. So now let's display a header in the Streamlit application. So for that we have to write st.header. You can give any. Let me write I am learning Streamlit. Let me save this code and let me press this rerun button. As you can see over here, this way we can display a header in the Streamlit application that you can see over here. Also we can display subheader in the Streamlit application. Let me show you this. So for that we have to write st.subheader and let me write and I am loving it. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here. So this way we can display a title, a header and a subheader in a Streamlit application that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next functions of Streamlit. st.write. st.write is a versatile function in the Streamlit library that allows you to display various types of content in a Streamlit application. It can be used to display text, numbers, data frames, and other types of content. Let me show you this. Let me use st.write. Let me write this is a normal text. As I said, it can be used to display text, numbers, data frames, and other types of content. Here we are displaying normal text. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here. Now let's use st.write to display a number. Let me set number to 42 and let me write st.write. The answer is this number. Let me save this and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here. Now let's use st.write to display a data frame. So for that, let me import pandas as pd and let me create data frame. df is equal to pd.data frame and I am going to create pandas data frame using Python dictionary name any. Now let's display this data frame using write function of Streamlit. Let me pass this data frame. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here. So this way we can use write function of Streamlit to display normal text, number and data frame as well that you can see over here. So now let's display a plot. So we can display plot in our Streamlit application as well. Let me show you this. So for that, let me import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and let me write plt.plot, and let me pass python list 1 2 3 4 and 5, just to show you how we can display plot in our streamlit application. And let me write st.py plot, and let me pass this plt. Let me save this code, let me save our code, and let me rerun our web app, as you can see over here. So this way we can display plot in our streamlit application that you can see over here. So let's discuss our next function, markdown. st.markdown function is used to display markdown formatted text in the streamlit application, including headings, text formatting, and list. Let me show this. So for that, we have to write st.markdown, and we want multiple lines. So let's use markdown with triple quotes. So hash and heading 1, double hash sign, heading 2, triple hash sign, heading 3. And let me write, this is bold text. So we can use double asterisk sign to bold particular word, and single asterisk for italic text, and code text. Now let's display list. List with item 1, list item 2, list item 3. Let me save our code, and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, heading 1, 2, 3, and as you can see over here, bold, italic, and code text. And as you can see over here, list item 1, list item 2, and list item 3. So this way we can use markdown function to create rich and formatted text in our streamlit application that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next function, st.code. So we can use this function if we want to display code in our streamlit application. Let me show this. Let me write st.code. We want to use multiple lines. So let me use triple quotes, and let me create one function with name foo, and here we can provide parameter and return input raised to 2, and let me call this function with 2. Let me save this code, and let me rerun our web app. As you can see here, our code. So this way we can use st.code if we want to display code in our streamlit application that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next function, st.dataframe. st.dataframe is a function in streamlit library that allows you to display a pandas data frame in a streamlit application. So as you can see here, we have already created this data frame. So let me copy this, let me paste it over here, and let me write st.dataframe, and let me pass this data frame. Let me save this code, and let me rerun our web app, as you can see over here. This way we can use st.dataframe to display a pandas data frame in a streamlit application that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next function of streamlit, JSON. Also we can display JSON format in our streamlit web application using st.json. Let me show you this. So for that, let me write st.json. For teaching learning purpose, let me use this Python dictionary. Let me save this, and let me rerun our web app, as you can see over here. This way we can display JSON format in our streamlit application using st.json function of streamlit that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next function. So in data analytics and machine learning web applications, most of the time we require to take input from the user in form of text, number, date, button, or using drop down. Let me show you how you can take user input in your streamlit web application. So now first, how we can take text input from the user. So for that we have to write st.text_input function, and here you can pass any message. Let me write enter your name, and let me assign it to one variable. Name is equal to this statement, and let's print this using write function name. Let me save this code, and let me rerun our web app, as you can see over here. Here user can enter text input. Let me press enter, as you can see over here. So this way we can take text input from the user, and this way we can display it, that you can see over here. So now next, so let me show you how we can take number input from the user. So for that we have to use st.number_input function of streamlit, and let me write enter your age. Also we can provide minimum value equal to 1. You can set any, and max value up to 100 and let me display using st.write. Also let me assign it to one variable. Age is equal to this statement. And let me pass here age. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, minimum value. You can set to any. Let me press enter. As you can see over here. This way we can take number input from the user that you can see over here in our Streamlit web application. So now how we can take date input from the user. So for that we have to use date underscore input function of Streamlit. Let me pass one message. Enter current date. Let me assign it to one variable. Date is equal to this statement and let me print using st.write this date. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, by default it is loading our current date. Also we can select particular date as you can see over here. So this way we can take date input from the user. So now let's discuss our next function, st.button, to create button in our web application. So for that we have to use st.button and text on button. Click me. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, user can press this button. So let's display one message when user click this button. So let's create user defined function with some name, button underscore clicked. You can use any other name and let me write st.write button clicked. And here we have to check if button is clicked, then call this function. Let me save this and let me rerun our web app. Let me press this click me button. As you can see over here, button clicked that you can see over here. Let me use st.balloons. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. Let me click this. As you can see over here. As you can see over here. So this way we can use st.button and st.balloons as per your requirement that you can see over here. So now let's create slider to take input from the user. So for that let me create one variable. Age1 is equal to st.slider. Let me write select your age. Let me provide min value to 0, max value to 100 and default value is equal to 30 and step size is equal to 1. And let me write st.write and let me use f string. Your age is age 1. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, default value is set to 30. We can change it. You can see over here. So this way using slider, we can take user input that you can see over here. So now next, also we can take user input as drop down menu. Let me show this. So let me create options for drop down menu like option 1. You can provide options as per your requirement. Option 3. So let me write st.select box and let me write message for the user. Select an option from this options list. This one. Let me assign it to one variable. Selected underscore option. You can use any other variable name. And let me use st.write to print this selected option by the user. Let me copy this. Let me paste it over here. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. Let me select 2 as you can see over here. Let me select 3 that you can see over here. So this way we can take input from the user using drop down menu that you can see over here. Now next, also we can allow user to upload some file. Let me show you this. So for that we have to use st.file underscore uploader. Write some message. Upload CSV file. Let me assign it to one variable. File is equal to this statement. Also we can check if file is not none. Then so for that, so let me write pd.read underscore CSV and file name which is uploaded by the user. And let me display top 5 rows of this file. Let me assign it to data is equal to this statement and data.head. Let me save this code. Let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, browse and user can upload any file. Let me select this file. Let me press open. As you can see over here, this way user can upload particular file in our Streamlit web app that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next function, sidebar. So we can also create sidebar panel in our web application. So we can use same widgets that we have used for main content of the application. Let me show you this. How to create sidebar panel in our Streamlit web app. So for that we have to use sidebar. Let me give title to our sidebar. Sidebar's title. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, this is our sidebar panel that you can see over here. Let's create checkbox in sidebar panel and also let me display using st.write.ch. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, you can see over here false. Let me click this. As you can see over here, true in our main content of the application. So this way we can use sidebar to create sidebar panel that you can see over here. So now let's discuss our next function, st.image. So using this st.image function, we can display images in our web application. Let me show you this st.image and let me write logo.png that I have just uploaded on my current path. This path, see users del iris underscore new, where this program is available, streamlit1.py. Let me save this code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here. So this way we can display images in our web application using st.image function that you can see over here. So now next, Streamlit provides built-in functions to display status messages with different style. Let me show this. Let me display success message, st.success. You can pass any text. Let me write this is a success message. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, this is a success message that you can see over here. Also we can display warning message using st.warning. Let me write this is a warning message. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, this is a warning message. Same we can display error message as well. So this is an error message. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here. So this way we can display success message, warning message and error message as per our requirement in our Streamlit web application that you can see over here. So now next, we can also display progress bar in our web application using st.progress function. As you know, progress bar is commonly used to show the progress of a long running task such as data processing, model training or file uploading. Let me show you this. So for that, let me first import time module and let me write st.progress and let me set to 0. Start from 0. Let me assign it to one variable. Bar is equal to this statement and let me use for loop. So for I in range 1 to 101 and time that we have just imported dot sleep 0.1 second and bar dot progress, this one bar with this I, and after that let me write complete message using st.write. Done. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, this way we can display progress bar in our web application that you can see over here. Now it is displaying done that you can see over here. So now next, we can also create columns in our web application layout using st.columns. So we can divide the screen into multiple sections or columns where we can place different content side by side such as text, images, charts or widgets. Let me show you how we can create columns in our web application. So for that we have to write st.columns and number of columns you want to create. Let me take 2 and this function gives us 2 column object. Let me write col1 and col2. You can use any other names. Now let me write column1 dot write. So we are going to place content in the first column. Let me write one text. This is column 1. Also let's put button in this particular column with name button 1. So now let's place content in the second column with this object col2 dot write. Let me write this is column 2 and let's create button in this particular column, second column with name button 2. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. Let me check. As you can see over here, this way we can create columns in our web application layout using st.columns that you can see over here. One thing I forget to tell you is that we can also set the title of the Streamlit application, this one. So for that we can use st.set underscore page underscore config and we can set page underscore title is equal to my Streamlit app. You can write any. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see here, Streamlit API exception set underscore page underscore config can only be called once per app and must be called as the first streamlit command in your script. Let me cut this and let me paste it over here. Let me save our code and let me rerun our web app. As you can see over here, my streamlit app. So this way we can set the title of this streamlit application that you can see over here like this. So using these widgets, you can easily create good looking data analytics and machine learning web application. So try to create some web application using Streamlit and share it with me. Hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel. If you like this video, smash that like button. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye. See you in the next video.